Drinking the boys.
Luther Burton,
Brady. Somebody cooked here. Give me the cover, too, as well. Let's go.
The weekend is finally here, and it is absolutely loaded. We've got NFL action. We've obviously got college football action, Major League Baseball playoffs, and we got some lights-out extreme fighting that we're going to talk about. And what a better rep to have than one of the guys at the top, Pro Bowler, certified ass kicker, former Maryland Terrapin. They got a big one this weekend, boys, against the Buckeyes. Shawne Merriman. Shawne, what is up, brother? It's great to have you.
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
Man, we're just rocking. It's amazing how fast football season goes by once it starts. I talk about this with every guest we have. We wait for it. Talking season happens, recruiting, all this stuff, and then it gets here. You blink twice. Man, we're halfway through the season after this weekend.
Yeah, it's wild, man, because and that's why so many people watch football, right? Because that last game that goes off and ice skating or whatever program is on TV, people are like, okay, all right, let's get back to the real thing here. So that build up during your off season, before you know, like you said, man, you halfway through the season, you're like, what the hell happened?
That's exactly right. As a player, coach, and just a fan of it, it's amazing how it all goes together. And we're going to get to that, including a big game this weekend for your alma mater, pair of undefeated teams. But first, Shawne, I mean, what you guys are doing over at Lights Out Extreme Fighting, y'all got a showdown this Saturday, October 7th. You get your football watching in, you get your extreme fighting watching in on Fubo TV. Man, it is blowing up over there. Just first off, congrats on the success, man. I knew it was. When we talked to you the first time, and I got wind of it and started watching, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. And now you guys are rocking and rolling, man. Just kind of talk to the people about how it's going, and you guys are really making a name for yourself out there.
Yeah, man. To be honest, it's been pretty crazy. And let me tell you, this business is chaotic. Behind the scenes, it is chaotic. We got a big one coming up Saturday, October 7th, in Long Beach, California, Lights Out Extreme Fighting 11. You can get your tickets at lightsoutxf.com. If you're in the SoCal area, you don't want to miss this one. You want to come to this fight. And we'll be live on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV. We just moved into like the top 5, top 10 most watched on Fubo Sports. So that was pretty cool for us because they got international soccer and a lot of other great programming on there. To be in that top 5, top 10 range, man, it was big. But this card is the biggest one. We got a former football player, man, A.J. Hodgkins, is going to be on the amateur card. I brought him over. He played linebacker at Oregon with Justin Herbert.
Wow.
So this dude, I think, is going to be a bona fide star. Obviously, our main event with Musa Tolliver and Albert Morales. Albert, who had a short stint there in the UFC. So we just want to keep giving these up-and-coming guys, man, a shot to be seen because, with the viewership like we have on Fubo and everybody's, fighters calling us around the country, man, to come and have fights on our card. So it's been pretty cool.
Well, you guys, man, you put out a quality product. I mean, being in the sports media business, we got to have all of it. I got YouTube TV, Fubo, everything imaginable, and saw you guys pop up the other day when I went on Fubo, man. I was like, hey, look, man, they're really getting something done. But
I love it.
Shawne, too, we talked about the last time. I can't believe you guys are already on 11. I can't believe that. That's wild to think about. Speaking about time flying, we talked about last time, you guys kind of the way it works with y'all finding fighters. Man, it seems like y'all have really found a groove in getting guys from all over the country, like the way this thing's expanding. I'm going to ask you about the transfer portal in a minute, but you guys, man, y'all have a heck of a transfer portal going on over there.
We do. And it's a cool thing, right? Like, obviously, who the big dogs in this industry are, which was the UFC. And so we provide a platform, man, for these guys to get an opportunity to go and fight there. Our last couple champions all went to the UFC and had that opportunity. Yeah. And so when you start to see, like, as you said, the quality product, our fights is just, crazy with big knockouts, big finishes. The production quality is top notch. So now you got fighters saying, hey, man, I'm trying to be seen. I'm trying to put on a show. And, you would think that there's a bunch of hot chicks in my DM, but there's all fighters, man. Look,
at this point where it is, man, it's like my dad used to say, you get to a certain age, son, all you want is cold beer and hot food. So, and a good job. But, man, congrats again on the success. We're going to talk about it a little bit at the end as well. But before we get to the Maryland-Ohio State game, obviously I see you rocking the Maryland shirt, a bad respect over there, excited for Coach Locks and the gang. But the transfer portal in college football, this is something that we've talked about. And Shawne, what I've said is this. I've got no problem because coaches can come and go, whether they're moving on, in the same division or going up to the NFL, and there's kind of freedom of movement there. My only qualm about it is being able to go from one team in a conference to another team in the same conference without the head coach leaving. If the head coach takes a different job, I feel like any player should have a free transfer to go wherever they want, if that's in the same conference or out. But, man, you look and you see some guys going from, LSU to Arkansas without any coaching movement. To me, that's a little bit over the line past the 1 year free transfer rule. What do you kind of think about that?
I agree, man. It's kind of like the Wild Wild West. And, you're talking to a guy who obviously I didn't start my first year at Maryland. I had to fight my way to a starting job. And when I did, I kind of shined and did my thing there. And when I try to talk to some of these, because I still talk to a lot of the young guys, what I tell them is, guys, it's not always green on the grass is not green on the other side, right? Like you may be leaving a situation, you just got to wait your turn, get your moment, and then shine there. But if you're getting up because you just having a bad day, a bad week, or you having a back and forth with the coach, something happened at school or something you can really get over and find a way to fix it, you just get up and leave. And so you may be going into a situation and you get there, you're like, man, I actually had a sweet deal. Right. It wasn't as bad. And so when you're able to just to get up and make those decisions on the spot as being an 18, 19-year-old kid, I couldn't imagine people are still, after they graduate, leave college, they're still trying to find a career, right? Yeah. Imagine if you could just get up and leave because you think there's something is better on the other side. You're 18, 19 years old. 18, 19 years old, we're not even thinking straight, right?
For sure.
Not even, our heads are not even on wrap tight just yet. And you can get up in the middle of a season or right after the season with no recourse and just change teams, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, and I mean, David, we've seen instances where guys go in the portal and nobody picks them up.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm so glad you said about the grass being greener on the other side because I went 1,000 miles away from home to play college football. I wanted to leave every day. I wanted to leave Ann Arbor and go back to South Georgia. And just like Jake said, we never talk about the guys who enter the transfer portal and who don't get picked up on the other side of that, which is a big part of this. But, Shawne, the Big Ten East right now, man, it really is incredible, the football that's being played over there. In Maryland, we got an undefeated showdown now. Your Terrapins go to OSU. The Buckeyes had that big win over Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. How do you see this one playing out?
Listen, I don't know what the disrespect coming with my Terps is. Like, the rankings, the national attention. Obviously, Coach Prime is just grabbing all the eyeballs right now. It's a big story in college football, but no one's talking about the undefeated Maryland Terrapins. Like, it's crazy to me that the non-respect with Talia, the quarterback, is just Tua Tagovailoa, brother.
Yep.
They got an explosive wide receiving core and 3 capable running backs back there with Hemby, Littleton, Colby. Their defense is playing well, and it's like they're just getting ranked. Like, it's crazy. They're not only beating teams they're dominating everybody. And then the disrespect, man. So I say, look, if you feel disrespected, if I'm Coach Loxley going into this week, and I haven't got a chance to talk to him this much over other than text messages, there's a disrespect going on. I'm hanging that all over the locker room, the bulletin board. We're going in, and the way to get it is against this ranked Ohio State football team. If you want to go out and really get the national exposure, get the eyeballs and the respect you deserve nationally, this is the week to go out and do it.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising. I put Maryland almost in the same group that I put Missouri in with the lack of respect. Really? Missouri's sitting at 5-0 whenever Kansas State, and Maryland's a big brand. I mean, this isn't some small school. But
both those programs are going to get their chance.
Both those programs are getting.
And Maryland, fewest points Maryland's put up this year so far, 31 points. They beat Michigan State 31-9.
Yeah, and my one thing about it, and Blaine, we've talked about this, is Maryland defensively, right? Can you keep Ohio State and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Igbuka and Stover and all those guys? I know they have some replacements on the offensive line, but Ohio State doesn't have bad players up front. How much can Maryland keep themselves in the game defensively? Because they've proven that they can score.
Well, Shawne, let me ask you this. All right, does Maryland wins this game, tell me how Maryland wins. Is it a shootout? Is it a low scoring? Is it a possession game by Maryland? Great offenses, both pretty good defense. I think Ohio State's defense is a little bit better. But tell me how Maryland wins if they do.
This game is going to be one in the trenches, man. As you just said, Ohio State's defense, I think they're top 5 in rush defense. They can stop the ball. They've been doing it with 7 guys in the box. They haven't been dropping. They're just tough inside in the trenches. Maryland has to establish a running game, right? We know how explosive Talia is and how he can get the ball down the field. They got 3 capable wide receivers that can explode at any given time. And now it's just about running the ball so that passing game can open up. That's going to be the key. The game in the trenches, can they stop their running backs? They also got a running back that I think was All-American or something at 1.2. He can go. McCord He can play. Now, I don't want to take anything away from the quarterback. Talia, in my opinion, is a better quarterback. He should win his matchup. And people are not talking about this. Last year, Talia outplayed C.J. Stroud in that game. He outplayed him. And so that's where I'm a little confused about the disrespect, a little confused about them not getting what they deserve as far as what they've done, because they're doing something, putting up numbers that are historic numbers in college football right now across the board.
Yeah, well, we'll see. They're going to get their shot.
Got to start early. Got to start early against a team like
this. That's it. That's the biggest thing.
That's exactly.
Got to start
early.
Let's get these picks. All right, we got 5 games. Let's pick them. Let's start with Alabama going on the road at Texas A&M. -2.5 is the line, over under 47, but we're just picking the straight up winner of the game. Jake, you start.
Look, I talked about, on Thursday, and we've talked about this game. I think it's going to come down to which team can run the ball. It typically does. We've seen Alabama struggle most of the year to be able to run the ball against capable defenses. A&M hasn't ran it the way that we thought they were going to run it with that offensive line. So you look at that, it comes down to Jalen Milroe and Max Jones. If you're able to run the ball, that play action is obviously going to be something you utilize a ton. You're able to manipulate safeties, hit those big shots down the field, kind of catch people slipping with some eye candy. But when I look at this game, I have not yet seen Jalen Milroe be able to beat a team in the 3-step and the 5-step drop. I think they're going to be caught in 3rd and 6 or more a lot. Jalen's going to be able to scramble for a couple big first downs, but at the end of the day, I think A&M makes enough plays to win this game. I do not think this is the Alabama team that we've seen in the past that just lines up and beats the hell out of you. I think A&M can fight with them up front. It's at home. I expect a lot of penalties from Alabama procedurally. We've seen that in the past. Maybe a couple big turnovers, one in the red zone. Give me A&M by at least a
There you go. All right.
I don't like getting into the business of betting against Nick Saban. I'm not going to do it now. I like Alabama in this football game. I think Alabama's defensive line gets after Max Johnson the whole game. They rely on their defense. Jalen will make a couple mistakes, but I think he does make big impact plays, momentum plays in this game. Give me Alabama Crimson Tide.
All right, Sean, how you going with this one?
I'm taking Alabama. Look, he just said it before. They're not the same team as they once was and dominant and whatnot. I think that defensive line is going to manhandle, Texas A&M offensive line still. I think the game we just talked about, Maryland being able to win in the trenches against Ohio State, it's going to be the same this game. That defensive line has to control the running game, make those guys one-dimensional. I think the physicality is there for Alabama still. I'm taking them to win this game.
The SEC West gets more and more interesting every single week. The winner of this game is going to be in the driver's seat. You said something. This isn't the same Alabama team we've grown accustomed to seeing the past few years. I agree with that. It's also not the same SEC West we've grown accustomed to seeing. Will someone take hold of this division? I went back and watched the Texas-Alabama game, and I watched the Texas A&M-Miami game. A lot of points in both those games. I don't see that playing out like that. I think it's going to be ugly. I think both defenses are going to get after the opposing quarterbacks, more like the Alabama-Ole Miss type game. I'm going to take the Alabama Crimson Tide in this, even though, I don't know about taking...
You're Jon Snow in this.
All Jon Snow this thing. Did it with Texas. That's
roll Tide on that one. All right, next one up. Notre Dame. Notre Dame's schedule this year, man. Some years we talk about it being down. Notre Dame is just, they're playing anyone and everyone. They go on the road to Louisville. They went on the road to Duke last week, had to get a 4th and 16 conversion to survive. How do you see this one going?
Well, Notre Dame waits you out. They kind of beat Duke at their own game. They're going to wait till you make a mistake. I love the advantage Notre Dame has up front. Jack Plummer, the Louisville quarterback, has made a ton of mistakes the last couple weeks. They've been able to survive against NC State. He made more bad decisions than I did when I was 18. Sean brought up when we were younger earlier. But I think Notre Dame grinds them down. I think they limit the possessions offensively. Braum and them are going really slow this year. I love Louisville's future, but I don't love their present in this game. Give me the Fighting Irish by double digits.
Yeah, I saw this game sitting at 6.5. 6.5. That might be one of my locks for the weekend. Right now, look, this Louisville team's on the right track. All right, Plummer's going to be nice. Braum got these guys going. Louisville always has that one guy receiver who's just absolutely a problem. That's Jamari Thrash this year. He's going to have a good day, but Notre Dame's a complete team. Give me the Fighting Irish and a cover.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm thinking across the board. Notre Dame is just a much better team. I saw a couple of mistakes when they played Ohio State that they can go back and clean up, but they had a really good chance against a really good team. I just don't see this being a great matchup. I'm going Notre Dame.
Yeah, Jake, you and I watched the Louisville-NC State game. We were just shaking our head at some of the moments in that one. Notre Dame didn't panic last week at Duke, and just barely beating Duke in years past would have been kind of a question mark. We know about this Duke team. Yeah. They're a good football team. So I'm going to take Notre Dame as well. I don't think they're going to
especially they get 11 guys on the field.
Yeah, they get 11 guys on the field. Notre
Play
Dame
11 guys. They're a pretty good team. All right, LSU goes on the road at Missouri. One of these teams is 5-0, and it's not LSU.
Yeah, listen. Again, nobody's talking. None of people are talking about Missouri. We've talked about Luther Burden a ton on this show. The dude's an absolute freak. I think Brady Cook's one of the most underrated players in the country right now. He's limited the mistakes on the run. LSU defensively, they've been a disaster. They're not good against the pass. They're lining up a yard off the ball and getting blown off the ball anyways. But Missouri's pass defense has got more holes than a Swiss cheese factory. I think it's a shootout in Columbia, but this time LSU finishes the job. Jaden Daniels goes nuts. Watch out. Brian Thomas, big game. Give me LSU.
Really? Well, there's nothing worse than getting embarrassed in a film room in front of your fans, getting embarrassed in front of your family, in front of games. And that's what's happened to LSU the last couple weeks on defense. And I don't think that's going to change this weekend.
You're going
Missouri?
Missouri?
The Missouri
All
Tigers.
right,
yes,
I was wondering if he was
Rankins
going to do it.
boys, Luther Burden, Brady. Somebody cooked here. Give me the cover, too, as well. Let's go.
Shawne?
I'm taking Missouri, man. I think they
Come
still
on,
stay
Shawne.
alive. And you know, more importantly, man, they have. I'm a big believer in momentum. I'm a big believer in momentum. I'm not saying that they're the better team. I just believe they're going to win this game. Right now, when you're facing a team with a lot of confidence, they're also, we just talked about Maryland. They fit up in that same categories. Nobody's talking about them. They're not giving them respect. They're saying that they haven't played anybody and all these other things. I think they continue on their win streak this week.
Wow, I didn't know anybody was going to take Missouri. All right, look, with some of the coaches in years past, maybe this LSU team might have a little bit of quit in them. I think under Brian Kelly, that's not the case. Like Jake has always said, he's a stepfather. They don't want there, but they need there. And remember, one of those losses is out of conference. They're still very much in the SEC West conversation. And if you're in the SEC West conversation, that means you're in the SEC championship conversation. I think LSU goes on the road and figures out a way to keep this season going. Let's go LSU Tigers.
Love it, too.
All right, another SEC matchup. Kentucky at Georgia, both teams undefeated.
Yeah, listen, Georgia all week's going to hear how they can't stop the run. All Kentucky can do is run the ball. I trust Devin Leary about as much as I trust the guys at Enron. You know,
a lot.
Yeah. Well, they're not there anymore for a reason. I think this is low scoring. I think Georgia has a fast start. It's sitting at 14.5 for a reason. I love Mark Stoops. Stop the run the ball. Give me Georgia. I don't think Kentucky scores more than 10.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game on both sides of the ball. I really don't. I think in the fourth quarter, you might be looking at a 14-17 game.
Yeah.
Maybe max. I do think Georgia is a better team. I do believe in Carson Beck more than I believe in Devin Leary. And just what Kirby has built there, and Kirby's going to be thrown in their head all week. You're not tough enough, right? Ray Davis is tougher than you. He's better than y'all. Give me Georgia. Buy it down a point, get into 13.5. I like the cover.
Shawne, Ray went for, 260 or 280 last week against Florida. Upset alert here for the Bulldogs?
No. Not with this one. And as you said, I think it's a 24-17 game. I mean, I don't see a lot of scores in this game. It's going to be a defensive fault. Ground and pound. It's just going to be a game of physicality. And I think that at the end of the day, Georgia will just wear them down as they get in the fourth quarter, and Kentucky has nothing to fight back with.
Yeah, I'm going to take Georgia as well. Before I take Kentucky in a game of this magnitude, I need to see Devin Leary go on the road and prove that he can beat a team like this to open up that run game a little more. All right, game of the day, Red River Shootout, Texas, Oklahoma, neutral site, both undefeated. Last year in the Big 12. Jake, who's winning the game?
Well, you know, I know there's going to be a lot of physicality in this game. There's going to be a lot of physicality in Long Beach tonight, but looking at this one, I think what Brent Venables has done, bringing in players defensively and the way they've developed, they can stop the explosive plays that they gave up a lot last year. You've seen that. But when I look at Texas, I picked Texas to go undefeated before the year and make the playoff. They look like a complete team. That front seven went from Club Med to Judge Dredd. I really respect it, the way they run around and how physical they play now. I think it's a different era in Austin there. Sark's a witch when it comes to game planning and adjusting. Brent's great. Ted Roof is great. But at the end of the day, Texas has proven who they are against a tough schedule. Oklahoma, we don't know yet. I'll take the facts over I don't know yet. Give me Texas, walk-off field goal.
Walk-off field goal.
Walk-off field goal. But it's a guy with last name Auburn.
Well, it's obviously not going to be 40-0 like it was last year. You got to give a lot of kudos to Brent Venables, and already this defense already improved that much. And I do think Oklahoma is on the rise. They're coming up, but I think Texas has arrived with this roster. Their offensive line dominant. Their front seven looks great. They probably have the best receiving core in the nation, and Brooks looks good. Quinn Ewers back there. He's looking solid. Give me Texas. And I think it might be a double-digit win.
Really?
Shawne?
I'm going with Texas with a double-digit win for sure.
Yes.
I was talking to my former teammate, Quentin Jammer, about this game. And I said, look, you guys gonna have a hiccup at some point in time. It's not gonna be this week. I just don't think Oklahoma's seen on their schedule what Texas has seen already.
Mm-hmm.
They've been battle tested. They've been in some real wars already with some really good teams. I don't think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be bare minimum 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the game is going to be decided and early on in the mid third quarter. It might just get out of hand going into the fourth.
Man, I agree with everything you guys are saying. Texas, complete roster. Steve Sarkisian's had a couple more seasons than Brent Venables to be able to build this thing up. But I'm not going to sit here. Every single person on this show take Texas.
Save the graphic.
Oklahoma, where the winds come sweeping down the plains. Give me the Sooners. And if I'm going out on a limb like that, give me Sooners big. Give me a Les Grossman situation. They just spank them in the Red River Shootout. Give me a Diet Coke and the Sooners.
Hey, look, I love it. We want to know what you guys think in the comments as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Shawne, first off, thanks for joining us again, man. Tell everybody, you can catch it on Fubo. Tell them where they can get tickets. You guys are doing a phenomenal job out there in Long Beach. It's going down this Saturday. Lights out, baby.
That's right. Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 11 this Saturday in Long Beach, California. Get your tickets at lightsoutxf.com. If you can't make it, what you should. If you can't make it, we'll be live on Fubo TV, Fubo Sports. And this is our biggest one, man. This is our biggest card yet. Catch some of these up and coming superstars, man, before they grow big and kind of leave me to dust after we give them this platform. But we got about 3 or 4 bona fide superstars. There's going to be really big names in MMA one day,
without a doubt. And again, like you said, the production quality is just it's out of this world. Y'all do a fantastic job. Shawne, again, thanks for joining us so much, man. We really appreciate it. Best of luck to you. Everybody tune in. Go follow them on all social media platforms as well. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Enjoy your football watching. Sunday recap in the morning. Come join us. Let's have some fun.